Hello, everyone. It's really lovely to see you. Really lovely to see you. We're from Cisco, and we're going to be talking to you about the impact of edge computing on the media industry. And, you know, as much as we love our WebEx, it is really lovely to see you because you are all here, right? You're not on WebEx? Everyone wave to me. Okay, you are live. It's really lovely that you're live. So we have two Cisco experts here to talk to you about edge computing. We have James Massett, and we have Chris Lapp. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and they're going to do a tech chat all about this wonderful topic.
Thanks, Susan.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Hi, everybody. Nice to see, like she mentioned, people live for a rare occurrence, which is wonderful. I'm James Massett, like Susan mentioned. I'm the global director of our Edge Cloud business, which supports our service provider and media partners as it comes to distributing the production and the content that's becoming so critical for our end consumers and the industry at large. So really excited to be talking to you guys. I prefer to make this open-ended and interactive, but that could be harder than said than done with the convention being here. So, and I'm joined by Chris. So Chris, quick introduction.
Yeah, thanks, James. My name is Chris Lapp. I'm the technical solutions architect for media and entertainment at Cisco. So I cover the pre-sales side of Cisco, but all things solution-based for media and entertainment, everything from the live production all the way to when those solutions and that content ends up at your viewership screen.
Awesome. So to kick things off, or to introduce, why is Cisco here? Obviously, we've had a presence for years in the media space as it comes to, a general network functionality. But moreover, we're seeing this industry as a critical control point for really what the network is going to become. So what my team does, and really the investments that Cisco is making, in large part with our partnership with Quilt, is really about controlling and defining the next battlescape of the edge. That's becoming a more critical part of network technology, network architecture, network strategy. It's also a critical part for media and really importantly for service providers. So service providers are partners in this space. They really view this as a part of a value chain that they've had a limited exposure to with the advent of over-the-top and the numerous streaming platforms that have been birthed over the past several years. So we really view the edge as a partnered effort to reinsert them in the value chain and give them the options, the strategies, and the capability and solutions to monetize that edge. With what we've been seeing with over-the-top, the edge is valuable. Really, the biggest asset and payload that the edge has been delivering as of late is live production, live content, live sports. Very, very difficult network traffic for service providers to manage at scale. Really spiky events, things that network operators don't like, right? So with caching done at the edge, close to the consumer, it actually gives them better technical capability and way more control over core offload, which is a really big cost driver of how they monetize, manage, and plan network build-outs. In conjunction with that, we see that as a big business logic driver about how we can partner. So the content that leverages the edge that we're building in partnership with SPs in the media space, we viewed that as an open landscape of partnership and an ecosystem where we can share the revenue that's being generated off leveraging that edge. And today we're starting really with what I mentioned, the most difficult but still revenue generating topic of live sports and over-the-top video. But we're slowly shifting into more dynamic and richer payload and also enterprise assets like SASE, SD-WAN, and Collab as well. So it's an exciting thing for Cisco to be embarking upon. And we're looking forward to kind of engaging with you guys and learning more about your expectations, what you guys are seeing as well, and incorporating that in our strategy. So
Awesome. Thanks, James. So I'd like to focus more on like the use case side of things. So on top of what James has already talked about with what we're doing today, what the possibility of is tomorrow. So one of the biggest topics that Cisco is talking about these days is something called volumetric video. So volumetric video, the ability to take a live sports event, film it with many, many cameras, not your typical 10 or 12, but hundreds of cameras, thousands of cameras, and basically create a 3D space of that sporting event. If it's a football game, doing a 3D solve of the entire action as it comes up, and you as an individual viewer being able to go into your mobile app or your phone or your tablet and take your own view of that sporting event as it happened. So if a touchdown happened in a football game, you'd be be able to replay that event in this digital solve and then move the angle around and look at it in your own way that you wanted to as an individual viewer, not having to look at the same view that everyone else is looking at on TV. Or if you're in a stadium, for example, and you went to get a snack or you went to get a drink and something happened while you weren't there, you could go back into that volumetric replay and see your own solve of it as it happened while you're sitting there at the snack stand. So that's something that Cisco's doing a lot of, and if you want to hear more about volumetric video, we can talk about that entirely as a whole new topic, probably hours of content. But without the edge and without edge caching, it makes volumetric video nearly impossible. There's just so much video, so much data, so much processing to be had, that if you were to send that data just across a backbone towards some central location to solve it, we'd be talking petabytes of data. It'd be nearly impossible. So having the edge computing there to be able to solve that at the edge and then send just the raw data up instead of the actual video content that is needed for the processing, you basically make it possible to do now.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So I think volumetric is going to be a key use case, like a killer app that's on the horizon. There's a very high probability some of the first consumer experience of that will be at the Paris Olympics in 2024. And it's becoming a more and richer part of sporting assets want to add to their portfolio, both to the end consumer side at the house, but also while you're at the stadium. So a different way of engaging, interacting with the event. If you add a gaming dimension to that in terms of a consumer gaming, there's actually some really neat possibilities of that use case extending where you could take over the 4th and 2 and the coach punted and you said you should have gone for it, kind of live that experience out and move away from the armchair quarterback and actually play from something real. So kind of insert yourself into a real situation and take over. So these are the type of consumer experiences we're collecting from industry, some things that are of interest to gaming SPs and the media companies alike. And it's really a great experience to be able to deliver the technology that's going to enable those type of outcomes. So we're excited about what the edge represents. So obviously for us, it's a key control point. And as we think of it that way, we also want to think of it in terms of partnership with our customers, with our industry brethren, and making sure there's a rich value chain that we can all participate in. So
at the end of the day, it comes down to money, right? But talking about that richer experience, one of the things that I really am looking forward to is partially the augmented reality, being able to do virtual conferences, but be able to sit in a room like this virtually, right? We all sat on WebEx and all the other platforms for years on end. That would have been a little more bearable if it was an augmented reality experience where we could sit in a room and look beside us and see some maybe cartoonish version of our friends and our colleagues. But because I'm from the younger generation, I'm also a gamer. I play Call of Duty every night. I'm looking forward to the day when I can put on an Oculus and actually immerse myself in the game, feel that haptic feedback, actually enjoy the game in that method, and not just hold on to a controller.
Yeah, that's a scary experience too, I think, being shot like that now that I'm wondering about it. But these are the types of things that the edge requires and the type of things that the edge makes real. And so again, we're very excited to be participating in it, but we look forward to co-authoring this with all of our peers here in industry. So I think how are we doing on time? Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks for sitting here with us and talking about edge computing. And we hope to see you on the horizon of what this brings. And hopefully we've opened your eyes to what's in the future. If anybody wants to get my Call of Duty tag, just let me know. But looking forward to talking to you soon.
Yep. Looking forward to talking to all you guys after this. So thanks very much for the time.